Today, I want to look at 4 techniques that you can use to speed up your editing process on a slow computer. The first thing you're going to want to do is close all of the programs that are not your video editor. You see, video editing is a very resource-intensive process and requires a lot from your computer. Any of the other programs that you have open in the background are going to be drawing resources that could have otherwise been utilized by your editing software. This includes your internet browser, which actually turns out to be a pretty sneaky resource hog. For every tab you have open, it's going to be drawing more and more resources from your computer. If you're using your browser to access resources during your editing process, try and keep those tabs to an absolute minimum. The next thing you want to do is clear your media cache. Now, if you're editing in Premiere Pro, you're going to hit the Edit tab, scroll down to your preferences and select Media Cache. A window is going to pop open with the option to delete your media cache files. Hit that button and it should already start speeding up your processing power on your computer. The next technique you can use is edit using proxies. Now, when you import your footage into your editing software, at times those file sizes can be pretty large. By creating a proxy, you shrink those file sizes down and you edit a stand-in clip. When you export your final project, your video editor will swap those clips out and export the original files with the highest image quality possible. The way that I go about creating proxies in Premiere Pro is that I import all of the footage I'll be using for my project. I select it all, right-click, navigate to Proxies, create proxies, and a window pops up. To keep it simple, I don't change any of the settings on that window. I simply hit OK. From there, Media Encoder will launch, create the proxy for you, and automatically link it to your clip back in Premiere. One thing to be aware of when editing using proxies is that you are creating additional files that are being stored on your hard drive. And so once your project is done, you might want to go in and delete those proxy files in order to free up some space. If you use the same method to create your proxies as I mentioned just a minute ago, you'll notice that it's really easy to find that folder with all of the extra files. Just navigate through your file structure to where your original footage is saved, and there'll be a folder named Proxies that you can simply go into and delete. My final tip to editing more efficiently on a slow computer is to refine your layout that you're using. As mentioned before, video editing is a very resource-intensive task, and so the software you're using tends to draw a lot of power. If you're constantly switching between your tabs while you're editing, let's say from the assembly tab to the color tab to the graphics to the audio, every time that you hit one of those new tabs and you've got to draw up a new window, the computer has to process that, and that takes time. You might end up with a 5 to 10 second wait as the new window is loading. What I've done to bypass this is to create my own layout that I find most efficient. Now, I'm not saying you have to copy this exact layout, but consider the tools that you're frequently using in your video editor and try and assemble them into one simple layout so that you don't have to constantly switch between tabs and draw resources. In my layout, I have the program monitor front and center with my editing timeline along the bottom. On the top left, I have a window with my frequently used tools in Premiere, namely my effects controls, and my Lumetri scopes. On the right hand side, I have my project panel and my Lumetri color panel. In this window on the right, I can quickly flip to my project panel, import new clips. On the window on the left, then if I need to apply any kind of effect or look at the effects controls, I can switch over to that window, select my appropriate tool, and do whatever editing I need to. Now, once I get into the color grading, which is one of my favorite processes, that's why I like to have a dedicated panel on the right hand side for it. I open my Lumetri color panel. On the left window at the top, I open my Lumetri scopes, and then I can very easily cross-reference what is going on while keeping a very simple layout and not having to switch between tabs often to get into a new section of my editing. I hope that you found this video valuable, and if you have, I'd really appreciate a like, and if you'd consider subscribing to the channel as I continue to roll out content similar to this. Let me know in the comments below if there are any other topics you'd like me to cover, or if you have any other tips and tricks to editing your videos faster on a slow computer. I'll catch you guys in the next video.